Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's edition of Pride Pack Presents. I'm your host, Marcus Lovingood, and we're coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, the LA headquarters of the Pride Pack. We have a really interesting and wonderful amount of stories to talk about tonight. Make sure you tweet us at Pride Pack or me personally at Marcus Lovingood. Tonight, we're going to talk about Sandra Fluke, who's running for the Los Angeles area state Senate seat in District 46. Sandra is a civil rights attorney made famous by being called a slut by Rush Limbaugh on public radio. We'll talk about why the Pride Pack endorses her and why you should vote for her on November 25th if you are in the Los Angeles area. Yesterday, President Obama made statements in a New Yorker article proclaiming that same-sex marriages should be legal in all 50 states. The evolution will continue, and we will talk a little bit about that and the president's progression on the issues. We'll finish tonight's episode with a chat on PRIDECOIN, the LGBT cryptocurrency that the Pride Pack is going to launch very soon. We're going to focus a little bit on cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin tonight. All this and more tonight on Pride Pack Presents with Marcus Lovingood. You know, I'm really excited to talk to you tonight about someone that has been fighting for a long time, and I wanted to talk tonight about Sandra Fluke because, you know, I don't know about all of you, but I have been inundated with campaign emails from the DCCC and the DNC. These emails have just been pounding my mailbox. I mean, I must have gotten 30 emails just today. I mean, I've gotten emails from President Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Barbara Streisand. Barbara Streisand is the best one, but you know, begging for money. And you know, it is a really big problem in this country that we are completely based. Our political system is completely controlled by financial interests, and always in midterms, the Republicans outnumber Democrats 2-1 when it comes to fundraising, and the Democrats usually lose Washington. But one candidate that really has stuck out to myself and to the Pride Pack is Sandra Fluke. Now, Sandra Fluke, you might remember the name. She was made famous by the fact that she stood in front of a Senate committee, or sorry, a congressional committee of all men talking about contraception. And in response to that, Rush Limbaugh, who is a fairly right-wing conservative radio host at the time, outwardly called her a slut on national public radio. That kind of thing with the FCC is just not okay. Yeah, he was fined, and he was also kicked off of his show. That kind of made her famous. But people that really know who the true Sandra Fluke is, she is a civil rights attorney. She has fought for women's rights and those of the other underserved and the other privileged for many years, for most of her professional career. But it just happened to be that unfortunate incident that led people to, you know, pretty much learn who Sandra Fluke really was. And you know, our general counsel here at the Pride Pack, Yetta Kurland, she introduced Sandra Fluke to me and said that we really need to support her campaign because of her stances. She really focuses on trying to have a voice for those who do not have a voice in Sacramento. I had the opportunity to sit down with Sandra Fluke and pretty much interview her and have a dialogue with her about what her stances are, what she really believes she would be able to do in office if she was elected. Now, the LGBT community's needs are really always put aside when we consider the major issues. And I understand we have big issues in this country. We're controlled by corporate interests. Citizens United is still alive and well in this country. There are more blacks that are imprisoned, that are incarcerated in this country than there were slaves back in the Civil War time. Women still get paid less than men in this country for the same job. There are lots of big problems, but as a member of an underserved community that is considered a second-class citizen, it is always our top priority here at the Pride PAC to support people that, of course, support us, but also who really embody what the true needs of the LGBT community are. Now, I'm going to show you on the screen the endorsement video that we used, that we created for Sandra Fluke. As you see, this is our fundraising. This is our endorsement page, and there you see her, Miss Sandra Fluke. We're going to play that video for you, so you can see what she's all about.
You know, I'm not someone who ever envisioned myself running for office. I actually grew up in a community where there were a lot of economic challenges, and it wasn't a place where we really saw that as a possibility. I'm Sandra Fluke, and I'm a candidate for the state senate here in California for District 26. I really believe that we need to have more diverse voices in our government, more LGBTQ folks, more people of color, more women, more young people having a seat at the table. I'm running for the state senate because I think this is where we can actually get something done, and that's what matters to me in my career, is the impact I'm having on people's lives. I'm proud to be a Democrat, but I know that my responsibility as a Democrat is to push my party to be in the progressive place that it should be. You know, I've actually devoted my career to social justice, and that will always be very important to me. One of the very first bills that I worked on, I co-founded a statewide coalition that ended discrimination against same-sex couples in family court. You know, I think that we are in a place where the trans community is really one of the issues that is gaining a lot more public attention, and we need to drive even more concern about it, because it's a community that is so economically vulnerable and still experiences so much discrimination on a daily basis. And so there is a role for government to play in funding public education campaigns and helping to educate and change hearts and minds around this, but also in putting investment into social services for trusted community partners to be able to reach the most vulnerable members of this community. We have to make sure that health insurance coverage is comprehensive and really meets trans individuals' needs. And I am committed to fighting for this vulnerable community. I'm Sandra Fluke, and I'm a Pride PAC fighter.
So there you go. That's that is Sandra Fluke for you, and our Pride PAC video that we made in support of her campaign. As you see, she has spent her life really trying her hardest to fight for social justice and fight for LGBT families. But I think the one really special thing about Sandra Fluke is the fact that she is real, and she supports the trans community. This is something that a lot of people don't put a lot of emphasis on, and she wants to work with, as she said, trusted community partners to try and put in place really strong programs, support programs, health insurance programs, to help trans people with any of their health needs. And that right there was part of the reason why we decided to endorse Sandra Fluke, to stand behind her campaign, and really put that her in the spotlight, to show that she really does put LGBT people in as an important part of her overall mantra, and hopefully will if we get her to Sacramento. And with that, if you are not registered, the registration deadline is at the end of this week, so please get registered. You can, if you're in California, you can register online. A lot of your states you can register if you're outside of the US. I'm sorry, if you're outside of California, or send that in. It's very, very important. And if you are in the Los Angeles area, please make sure you get to the polls and vote for Sandra Fluke. which will really give a strong, strong message out there that we need to support the LGBT community. We need to support everyone that is involved in the underrepresented. President Obama made statements in the New Yorker article yesterday. Actually, the article is a little older, about proclaiming that he does believe that same-sex marriage should be legal in all 50 states. And this, the statement really does go on for a bit, and the whole story, which is a really interesting kind of viewpoint on where a marriage is today, where it has come from, and really exactly what President Obama kind of means when he says things like this. Because if you remember, it took him a long time to he had to talk about, he had to start somewhere else first. He had to make it come out, in different ways. And so for him to talk about the fact that gay marriage right now should be acceptable across the way is showing you, across the board in all 50 states, is really showing you and showing us the progression that we're at. Now, and you'll hear me talk a lot about this over the weeks that we're going to be broadcasting, but really, same-sex marriage is just scratching the surface of what needs to get done. There are social justice issues when it comes to the LGBT community that need to be adequately focused on. Same-sex marriage, in my opinion, as it does need to happen, is stirring a really tough pot right now, because we're infringing upon religious beliefs in the viewpoints of the opposition. And as our doctrine is not based on religious doctrine, it's based on the Constitution. Why would this even be an issue? Well, it does not explicitly say in the Constitution that there should be a separate, church and state should be separate, but it does say that everyone is entitled to their own beliefs and cannot be, ostracized or discriminated against for those beliefs. So in turn, religious people could say that it's an infringement upon their beliefs. Yet their beliefs don't dictate the lives of others. This is the big problem here. This is why it's such a big deal and why it's taken so long for us to move forward. But I think that since we decided to focus on gay marriage first, I personally think might have been misguided, because if we were to focus on some other issues that are a bit more impactful to supporting the gay community, like workforce laws, anti-workforce discrimination laws, which are rampant in, I think, 40 states in the US. You can get fired for being gay in this country. You can get married to someone of the same sex in more states now than you can to keep a job with being gay, which directly affects you economically. Some people will say that, of course, getting married directly affects you economically. But what people don't realize here, they are kind of putting a target on your back, because once you get married, once you're in a state that allows it, but also in that state they allow you to be fired when you're gay, and you're working for, let's say, Hobby Lobby, and you go in, you get married to your partner, and you say, all right, we're married now I want to file for joint health insurance that now Hobby Lobby has. Hobby looks at that no, you're gay. Now you have a wedding that so I think that it's fabulous that we are moving forward in the gay marriage. It's really very gay. Just because we have marriage equality in this country, it does not mean that we are equal. Period. And there are some states where we can't adopt children. We can't give blood. Okay, this is you want to talk about, okay, we have marriage equality and we're equal. That's not correct. It's wonderful that we're going in that direction, but we must put money. We must put, we must click that share button, and we must tell our friends and talk about the fact that we have the right to be equal citizens in this country. It's wonderful. It's just absolutely phenomenal that the president is out there and advocating for gay rights. He is the first president that's ever really advocated for gay rights out there. I am hoping that this is going to lead to our full equality in the very soon future. I don't know if any of you out there have been kind of following the craziness that has ensued around this thing called Bitcoin. It's a cryptocurrency. Yeah, I hope I didn't. I hope I didn't scare you off yet, but fact is that there is this guy. No one knows who he is, and he created something called Bitcoin, and it's internet cash. And I think a lot of people are scared of it because it's so volatile. But really, what it's given us is the ability to create our own decentralized currency, which means we don't have to depend on a bank. We don't have to depend on any of that third party, trusted third party, to make a transaction or to buy something. Which is really big. This is going back to the time when I grew corn and you harvested sheep, and we came to the market and you brought your sheep and I brought my corn, and you wanted corn, I wanted sheep, and we traded that way, and everyone was happy and all happy go lucky. We're back to those. We didn't need to go to a somewhere to put all of our riches that could charge us ridiculous fees and all this ridiculous stuff to control all of us, right? Now, this cryptocurrency idea, this blockchain, is giving us the ability to have our own types of cryptocurrency. This is really exciting because we, in turn, are going to create our own cryptocurrency. We're going to launch something called the PRIDECOIN, okay? And this PRIDECOIN is going to give everyone who has it the ability to use it to either tip people or to use it to get things on the Pride PAC website. We're going to have sponsors that are going to give us free things that you can buy, or you can use at your local store, your local gay club, a place where you can get a free drink or free entry with PrideCoin. And this is going to really strengthen, in my opinion, this is going to strengthen the gay economy and really show the rest of the country, the rest of the world, really how powerful the gay community is. Because if we start using our own currency to start transacting, and we evaluate our own currency, then we start controlling where our money as a collective goes. Now, I'm not saying that all gay people are going to start using this. I'd love, obviously, for more people to start using it outside the LGBT community. That's why I didn't name it Gay Coin. I named it PrideCoin, because it's a prideful way, really, to spread tips, to spread support. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to do a crowd sale where we're going to sell off massive amounts of PrideCoin in return for Bitcoin. We're going to use this Bitcoin to progress the LGBT, five to fight mentality, our mantra, right? Sign up people, really push for gay rights, full equality across the country. And we're going to get into the cryptocurrency world. We're going to use our film coin. And we're actually going to gift our film coin out to people. We're just going to give it away because we want people to start using it. And we want to show that we are a powerful community and that we deserve to be equal. There's going to be more on PrideCoin and how you can get PrideCoin yourself in the coming weeks and where you can use it. And if you're interested in accepting PrideCoin, please reach out to us. You'll get a lot of exposure and be a trusted supporter of the Pride PAC and the LGBT community. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Pride PAC Presents tonight. It's always a pleasure coming to you out there, and always remember that hope will never be silent. I am Marcus Lovingood, and thank you so much for listening.